right, welcome, everybody. So I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Welcome in. We're gonna make some Rasta pasta tonight. Um, I don't know why it's this way today. That's not what I want. Hmm, interesting. I don't know why it's like this today, but that is all right. So we're gonna make some pasta. And that's just that. All right. So I already have my water going on. First of all, welcome. It's cooking with your girl, your favorite chef, B. Laurayne. Today we're making a seafood rasta pasta. I put up a survey on my Instagram to see how many, or to see some suggestions of what I should cook next. The last thing I cooked on live was the turkey corn chowder, and I wanted to change it up to give you guys something that you wanted. So we're going to get started in a few seconds. I just need a couple more ingredients to put together, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. So I needed to grab some garlic, one of my favorite ingredients, some fresh garlic, and an onion. I think I want to use a red onion today. Red onions are a little bit sweet, but I like the red onion because of the color. That's my favorite part of the red onion. Okay. And let me grab some gloves really quick as well. So I'm always cooking with gloves when I am at home. Um, I don't know. I just don't want. Maybe it's just a thing because I've been doing this forever, and I just don't really like to touch the food directly. I don't have a problem with it, but I just don't really want to. All right, so we're gonna get started with cutting our veggie portion. So first, what I have, and you may not be able to see it, so let me lower the camera just a little bit so you can see everything. Okay, so that should be better. I have a red pepper, green pepper. I also have a red onion. I am using crab meat. You can use whatever type of seafood you like, including lobster, scallops, whatever it is that you like to use. But I'm using crab meat today. I have some fresh shrimp, and one ingredient that I was not able to purchase at the stores today was jerk seasoning. So you'll see me use that on the chicken, which I have some chicken here. So instead of trying to buy the seasoning, I bought seasonings to make the jerk seasoning. So you'll get to see that today as well. And I do need to grab a few things out of my cabinet to add to that also. Um, so I enjoy creating seasoning, and I have no problem with making my own. And actually, it just adds to my collection of seasonings that I have at the house. So it is not a problem at all. And oh, and I know I need some this. All right. So we'll go over the ingredients that I'm going to use to make that jerk seasoning shortly, but we're going to get started with cutting down the vegetable part of this dish. So whenever I cut down my green peppers, red peppers, whatever, I always just cut the top off like this, set it to the side. I feel like you get maximum use out of it if you do it that way versus just like cutting straight into it and just chopping that piece off a little bit later. Okay, so we do want to julienne slice our our peppers and onions. But let me put a towel under here because my cutting board is sliding. So if you're ever cooking at home and you're using a cutting board and you find that your cutting board is sliding, just wet you a towel, a napkin, and just put it under there. And it'll prevent it from sliding around. Okay. So we got some red peppers. Get these cut down. So the great thing about the recipes that I like to prepare, they don't take a lot of time. Anytime you have family, kids, after work, it's just some things you just don't want to do, you know? So especially when it comes to cooking, you don't want to go through all of the steps that it takes to cook certain meals. So whenever you're cooking, you want to make something quick and easy, just tune into my channel. And I help you out, give you some ideas, things that are inexpensive. Although today I did spend about $81, but that's because I purchased some seasoning as well. And you know, seasoning can be a bit expensive. So we're gonna go ahead and use the whole peppers today. For this recipe, I am cooking enough to feed my household. I don't have very many people in my household, but I am cooking enough for everybody. So not just myself today. And I've been working a lot lately, so I actually have not been cooking for myself as I normally do. And which is not really that good because that means I've been eating out a lot more. Actually, this week I'm I'm just like eating very, very light because I'm going to the ballet this weekend and I have a pretty dress and I want to look cute in it. All right, so we want to do the same thing to the green pepper. Julienne slice it. The onion is going to be last only because I don't want my eyes burning right this second. Okay, so we're going to chop down this garlic. So let me get this. And if you guys didn't know, garlic is one of my favorites. I love, 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 love fresh garlic. So whenever I break down my garlic, I do leave the skin on it and break it down. So I smash it. So I did another video on how to properly chop your fresh garlic cloves. So make sure you check that out. But just quickly, so you just want to smash it down, take the skin off, and then chop it. Okay. Easy peasy. If you're new here, I am your favorite chef. If you didn't know, now you know. Be Laurayne. And thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you will be back another time to see everything that I'm cooking for you guys. And leave in the comments any suggestions of anything that you want to see me prepare. I love taking suggestions. All right. So we're going to go ahead and hit this onion. So with the onion, I am going to small dice this. So I'm not going to do it like I did the peppers. I'm gonna just small dice this and add it with the garlic because I want to just kind of get the aromatics, you know, get that good flavor when we saute it first. So this is going to be the first thing that we add to the pan. How many of you guys have ever made Rasta pasta at home before? I would like to know. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and put together our jerk seasoning. We're gonna add the seasoning to the pasta. We're also gonna add it to the chicken. So I'm not gonna put a lot of it in the pasta itself just because I don't want it to be too overwhelming. But we do want to use these flavors. We always layering flavors. So I always tell everyone whenever you're cooking, first of all, have fun in the kitchen. Never be scared and also experiment. So, whenever you are experimenting, make sure that you are layering your flavors. The only thing you want to be easy on is the salt and pepper. And that's because salt and pepper, well, mainly the salt part. If you like spice, a lot of pepper is okay. But mainly with the salt, you want to be careful with it because it is a seasoning that you cannot take away. Once something is salty, it is salty. You is no going back from that. Okay. So just be mindful of that whenever you are adding salt to your dish. But when you start layering it, it's kind of difficult to over season or under season because at each layer that you add new ingredients to, you're going to taste it a little bit. Okay. Whenever possible, you want to try to taste it a little bit. Okay. So we're going to first start off with our chili powder. And if you guys have ever been here before, you already know I don't do a lot of measuring. So I will go back and add a recipe for this season, for this jerk seasoning, if you want that. And it'll be a little bit easier because it's probably some things that you already have at home. And then when you are able to do this at home, guess what? You can make it as spicy as you want it, but still have that same delicious outcome. And this one is brand new, so it is giving me a hard time with opening it. I've never seen the plastic on the inside before. And literally, you guys, I just got back home. So I didn't take all this stuff off before coming on camera. I was trying to, but I didn't make it back here in time. Today was a busy day. I have been moving and grooving since actually 6:30 this morning is when I left my house. I had catering. So we're gonna add some red chili flakes to this. Not that much. I had catering this morning and quiet as kept. I forgot about it. So don't tell them I said that. I did forget about it. I thought about it last minute last night, and I was like, "Oh my god, I don't have anything for this season for this catering." So I had to go buy all of the things. I had to go buy all of this stuff. So it was it really wasn't a mess, but it was a lot. Normally I am more prepared than that. So, all right, guys. So, I just added some nutmeg to that. We got some cumin. So, jerk seasoning is really just a merit of different types of seasoning and flavors added together to create one one spice, right? And I do have to get a couple other things out of my cabinet. This is thyme. And I need to go ahead and add those noodles to it. So we're going to add a little bit of cinnamon. So not much, just a little bit. Okay. If you ever had real jerk seasoning. It has like a spiciness with a hint of sweet, like on the back end. And that's what really gives when it's good. When you have a good jerk seasoning, not that so spicy that you can't even feel your tongue kind of spice. We don't want that. We want flavor. We always looking for some flavor. Okay. This is cayenne. This is really where that spice is going to kick in between the cayenne and the red chili flakes. Okay. We are going to add salt and pepper to it. Oop. My fan just came on. Don't know if you guys heard that. Yeah, that means I need to put this pasta in. So this is ready. And 1 second, guys. I am off camera, but just give me 1 second and I will be right back. I am putting this pasta on. So that can be ready soon as we are finished. And I am just looking for two more seasonings that are hiding from me right now. Oh my gosh. So I am so used to cooking at my restaurant and having everything that I need there that I sometimes forget what I do and do not have at the house. But it's okay because we're going to make it work. And we're also going to add a little bit of sugar to this. I just got to go grab the sugar. You can add either regular sugar or brown sugar to this. So that is totally up to you. Okay. And let me grab my sugar here. Okay. So again, this is what we're going to add to the chicken. We're going to add this a little bit to the actual pasta while we are sauteing the veggie parts of it. Okay. So I am going to bring you guys over here with me to the stove. So my pasta is going, if you can see that already. And we are going to get our part going for our veggie portion of this. So make sure you use a big enough pot because what you're going to do is add your veggies here. So you're going to saute everything and then you're going to add your noodles later on. And then you can just kind of serve out of the one pot. Make your life easy. Okay. So our pot is getting hot. We're going to add a little bit of oil. And you can use butter if you like. I personally like to use oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, whatever it is that you choose. We're gonna get that. All right, so as long as it's getting hot, we're gonna go ahead and add our garlic and our onion and let that saute. So as soon as that is nice and hot and sauteing, we're gonna start adding the rest of our ingredients to that. So if you guys can just keep an eye on that for me for 2 seconds, I will be back. I am going to just get this chicken together really quick so that we can move on to our chicken. So I purchased the thin chicken breasts mainly because I do not want to cut them down. And it's just easier to have the thin ones when you are cooking at the house. Okay. So we are going to take the chicken and we're going to add our jerk seasoning to it. We're gonna get this nice and coated. Okay, that's perfect. That's all we need. All right. So while this is sauteing, as you guys can see, we're gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper here. Okay. And then we're gonna go back in with our peppers. Okay. So this is a great time to go ahead and get the, let me check these noodles real quick. We're gonna go ahead and get the chicken on as well. So we're gonna be cooking basically three things at one time. So we already have our noodles working. They'll be finished in a few minutes. We have our the base of the pasta or of this dish working as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and get the chicken working also. When you cook your food this way, it saves a lot of time. It gives you a chance to get everything done at once so that it can be finished all at once. It just makes life easy, I think, anyway. I have been doing this for years on years on years. So for me, cooking multiple things at one time is something that I'm used to. I don't have a problem with it. But if for some reason it is a challenge to you, then you go ahead and cook all of, cook your things one thing at a time so that you're able to focus and make sure that it comes out correctly. But me on the other hand, I'm getting all this stuff done. And also just being in the restaurant industry, because before I owned my own restaurant, I also worked at restaurants, and working where we have to have the food out in a certain amount of time. So that means the food got to be cooked all at once. Okay. So it does help that in those situations, um, like the pasta was already prepared, the the Alfredo sauce. If you're making a Alfredo dish, it's kind of already prepped so that you're able to easily maneuver. Okay, so if you guys can see, everything is doing its job right now. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to leave some questions in the comments and I will be sure to answer them for you. Okay, so like I mentioned, I am going to add a little bit of the our homemade jerk seasoning to this dish. So I don't plan to add any more salt and pepper until after I have added the heavy whipping cream. I want to make sure that it is not too salty because remember we salted the garlic and onions, and this there is also salt and pepper in the jerk seasoning. So we want to make sure that we don't over salt this. Okay, so we won't add it until we add that liquid portion to it, which will thin it out and kind of mute some of those flavors that are in here already. And I am using thin spaghetti. Making this dish, you're open to, use whatever type of pasta you like. So that is penne pasta. You can use fettuccine pasta. You can use the regular spaghetti, but I had thin spaghetti at home and I actually thought I had penne, but I didn't have it. So we're using what I did have at home, which is the thin spaghetti. I personally like a spaghetti noodle when it comes to my Alfredo dish. I think maybe it sticks a little bit better. Some may differ, but I like it like that. Okay. So let me wash my hands really quick. And alrighty. Okay. So I am back. I am actually going to take this pasta off because we don't want it to overcook. We want to keep our pasta al dente. And if you don't know what that means, it's basically we want to make it tender. We don't want to make it soggy because who wants soggy pasta, right? Ooh, and this chicken looks so good. I gotta turn you around so y'all can see it. Let's see. Look at that chicken. Isn't it delicious? Oh, divine. Okay, guys. So what I'm going to do is wait, first of all, let me make sure these are perfect. So we don't want to overcook these either. So we're going to add our heavy cream to this, and I'm going to turn you guys around so you can see a little bit. All right. So we're going to use our heavy cream, and we're going to let that go. All right. So the chicken is still working. The pasta, the Alfredo is still cooking, and the noodles are perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and get these noodles off. So I am gonna step off camera for a second so that I can strain those noodles and set those to the side and have them ready to add to our dish. Oh Lord, this food smells so good, and I actually have not eaten all day. So this is gonna be a delight, actually. All right, we're gonna get this rinse off, and I'm gonna set it to the side. You guys have any questions for me? And welcome, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. If this is your first time here, I am your favorite chef, Laurayne. And today we are making a seafood Rasta pasta. Alrighty. So our pasta is set to the side, and we're going to stir this up a little bit. I am going to add a little more heavy whipping cream to this, but I want this to thicken up a little bit. So basically, when you're making any type of Alfredo, you want to get this to a point where it is nappe. So basically, nappe is when it sticks to the back of your spoon. So I'm going to grab a spoon and I'm going to show you what I mean. So right now, we have not made it to that point, but so you see how it is sort of sticking to the spoon. We want it to be a little bit thicker than that. Okay? A little bit thicker than that. All right? So we want to let that go just a little bit longer. We're also going to add Parmesan cheese to it, but just in a second. Okay? So right now, what I'm going to do is get our shrimp on. So I did purchase shrimp for this dish, shrimp and crab. The crab I will add last because I don't like when it gets like mushy. So we're gonna add this last, just right at the end point where it can still just kind of heat up and not get that mushy texture. Okay, let me close my cabinet. So I have, all right. So I believe I purchased which shrimp did I get? I think I got okay, I got 1315s. So if you don't know what that means, so 1315, when you see 1315, 1620, is basically saying that's how many shrimp per pound you are getting. Okay. So if you got a 2 pound bag, you're gonna have, and you got a 1620, you're gonna have either 32 to 40 shrimp in that bag. Okay. But usually it comes in like maybe a 2.5 pound bag. All right, so that's just a little side knowledge, just in case you didn't know. All right, so I only purchased a couple of shrimp because I only got six shrimp because they are a nice size. Okay, they are deveined, so I don't have to do that. The only thing I have to do is take off the shell, and I'm going to saute them and add them. I'm gonna saute it and add them at the end when I add the chicken. Okay. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. This stuff, I wish y'all could smell through the phone, okay? Because OMG, how delicious is this? Oh, my mouth is watering. Okay, so our Alfredo sauce did get to where I wanted it to be as far as texture. However, I wanted to add a little bit more because I want this to be a really creamy dish. So flavorful, creamy dish is what we are going for. So our chicken is done. So I'm gonna set this to the side. And excuse me because I have to sneeze. It ain't season if you ain't sneezing, okay? All right, so the chicken is definitely done. So we're gonna set this to the side. So I'm gonna remove this from the heat, and we're going to cut that down in a few seconds. So because I want to saute the shrimp, I'm actually going to utilize the same pan that I had the chicken in, just so I can continue to layer those flavors. So remember, I always talk about layering your flavors. So I would definitely want to do that with the shrimp. So I'm going to, you guys can come back over here with me really quick. I am going to take the shell off of the shrimp, and then we're gonna saute it. All right. So again, like I said, I only purchased 6 shrimp. They didn't have a good variety at the grocery store. I do like to go to the seafood market to get my seafood, just because you have better options, whether it's size, the type of seafood. But I don't have one close to my home. I only went to the grocery store, so you can go to the grocery store. It's no big deal. It's just my preference. And because I'm out here in hot Las Vegas, it is like our seafood markets are very few and far in between. So, because I do have a restaurant, I do have a lot more of options available to me when I go through my vendors. But I didn't go through my vendor for something like this today. So, what I'm going to do is rinse these really quick. And we're going to set them to the side. And I am going to add a little oil. All right, here we go. I want to add a little bit of oil to this pan, even though we are still using the same chicken pan, right? I want to keep it that way because we want to make sure that we are using what was in here prior. Use those flavors. We want to get good use of all of the flavors that we're using tonight. Okay. And that way I don't have to continuously add a lot of seasoning because, again, we don't want to over season. But we're going to let that go for a minute, get that hot. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. So you see how that is a little bit thicker than it was the first time that I showed you. So this is what we are looking for. Okay, I am going to turn the heat down on this, and I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese to it while we are sauteing our shrimp. So again, guys, this is my version of Rasta pasta. You are welcome to prepare this dish any way that you like. You can add what ingredients that you want. You can add more chicken, less chicken, no chicken at all. It is totally up to you. You can also use steak. I think that would be a great change for this dish, actually, especially based on what I see everyone else doing online. All right, so we're gonna use some Parmesan cheese. I like to just get it already shredded. It's just easier for me. This is it's some good fresh Parmesan cheese actually. All right, well, as fresh as you're gonna get already shredded. Okay. All right. So look at how creamy it became. You see that? Oh, delish. All right, we're gonna let that go just for a little bit longer while we saute our shrimp. And yeah, so this is a great time to taste it and check out the flavor. See if we need to add any more salt and pepper. See if we need to add any more jerk seasoning or whatever we're looking for. Okay. So what I am going to do, actually, that is really good. That is really good. I'm just going to add a little bit more salt and pepper to it. I keep my salt and pepper in a little fancy dish. I just think it's so cute. Okay. We're going to add a little bit more salt and pepper. This is so perfect. It is not too spicy at all. And again, we made our jerk seasoning. So if you're just joining us, we made our jerk seasoning tonight, and because the store did not have any, so I had to figure this thing out. I made it at home. I am going to add a little bit more to this dish just to kind of top it off and give some extra flavor. It smells so good. It really does. All right. So let that go. We're going to flip our, whew, that popping. We're going to flip our shrimp. Do y'all hear that? It sounds so delicious, huh? All right. So right now, we're going to go ahead and add our pasta back to this. Whew, it's nice and hot. And y'all don't come for me. Yes, I am doing this with my hands. I am adding the pasta in here with my hands. Yes, I am. Just because I want to stretch it out and untangle it a little bit. Okay. And we're going to stir it up. Get those noodles coated in this delicious sauce here. There we go. It looks so good. It's coming together so well. Just so you guys can see it. So I am gonna add the lump crab meat. This is where we're gonna add the lump crab meat. So I do have it on low because I just want to really just keep it hot. We're not really cooking this anymore. We're gonna go in and just add the crab to the top. We're gonna stir this in, and there we are. So we can get that nice and coated in there. Is anybody else hungry? Because when I tell you, oh, this is so delicious. It smells so good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn those shrimp off. They are cooked the way I need them to be. I'm gonna add a little bit more for good measure. I love, love, love crab meat. And this is blue crab meat. So not what you get out of those snow crabs, like when you go, people get the crab legs. No, this is blue crab meat. I love blue crabs. I am a East Coast girl, was raised on the East Coast, and every summer all we ate was crabs, blue crabs. And it wasn't summertime if you didn't have blue crabs, okay? So we always had them fresh. They were always delicious. And that is one thing I do miss about being on the West Coast, not having easy access to blue crabs. Even though our seafood market does have them, they don't have like us like the I get like a specific kind of crab. So like the extra large males, and the seafood market only have female crabs, and it's like so disappointing. So I am going to bring you guys back over here to, let me just get this. So we're going to chop this chicken up. We're going to add our shrimp and everything to the plate, and we are going to serve up a delicious meal. Okay, so let me get my plate really quick. We're gonna add our pasta to here. So I'm gonna get our plate together right now. Let me know in the comments, is this something that you want to try at home? Would you try this dish at your house? Would you feed it to your family? And if you have ever had this before, because honestly, can I tell you something? This is a secret between me and you. This is the first time I've ever made Rasta pasta. And look how delicious this is. Okay, we're gonna add our chicken to it right now. So what I'm gonna do is cut a nice breast down, and let me slide you guys back so you can see how I cut this chicken down. And we're gonna add shrimp to it as well. So once I get this, okay. So this is our pasta before we add whew, the shrimp. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a couple of shrimp. And I'm making this for I have a teenager and a 21-year-old, so an adult here. And they are going to come down for dinner shortly. So what do you think, guys? Mm. Okay, I'm gonna try it on camera for you guys. so y'all can see how I feel about this. Okay. All right. So again, this is my first meal of the day. I haven't eaten all day long, and oh my gosh, look at how good this looks. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes. Excuse me. So, thank you for joining me. I hope that you try this dish at home. If you do, make sure that you come back and let me know. Also, like, subscribe, and stay hungry. I'll see you next time.